Hello, Achiever. It's Tim Schur. Uh, Thursday night, winding down after a whole bunch of clients and interviews and all kinds of cool stuff this week. I wanted to share some thoughts with you after working with the clients that I worked with. Awesome people. But as I have lots and lots of conversations with people who are looking to increase calm, increase confidence, get rid of bad habits, become more influential, improve their communication, improve their motivation, their focus, their ability to make things happen, whatever it may be. People are always coming to me because they want to improve their health, their happiness, their finances, their relationship. They want to accomplish something and they feel like something's in the way, or they want to get rid of something, like the feelings that are holding them back. They have jealousy or envy or insecurities or lots of stress or anxiety or PTSD because of experiences that they've gone through in the past. And as I have conversations with people, I started to think that what if you have $10 worth of energy, and every morning you wake up and you start with $10 worth of energy, and it's all the energy you're going to get. I don't care how much coffee you drink, right? You only get $10 worth of energy. How do you spend it? What do you spend your energy on? So I was having a conversation with someone in the first 10, 15 minutes. They were telling me about all these bad experiences that they were having, and they kept telling me the same stuff over and over, right? And I would share something with them, give them a reframe, and then they would say, "Yeah, I know, I get that, but then here's this." And then they would go right back and they would kind of tell me the same story again about what they're trying to get away from and why they're struggling and why they think they're this way and what's going on and what's happened in the past. And by the time we were done, I was like, out of your $10, you spent about $3 of it already, just in this 20-minute conversation, dwelling about all the bad things that have happened. And so people will say, yeah, but I'm telling you that because I want you to know how to fix it. But the conversation is rarely about how can I show up better and what can I do. Instead, it's I can't believe this has happened to me, and I know it's bad, and I'm a terrible person, and I don't know how to stop this, and I had all these bad things happen, and now let me tell you about every bad thing. And usually in situations like that, I interrupt, and because I'm not providing counseling, I'm not doing therapy. That's you go and you talk to somebody about all your problems, and then they sit there and listen to you and go, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel? And then the hour is up, and then you come back the next week, and then the next week, and then 10 years later, you're telling the same stories. Now, not every therapist is like that. There's some extraordinary therapists and counselors out there, some amazing social workers. I've met them, and they're fantastic people. But in general, that's what you're taught, and so taught to do. And so I don't do that, right? I want to get right to what are the beliefs that are driving that behavior and shift it. But that's not why I'm telling you this. Okay. So, um, so they spend $3, of their $10 talking about what they're upset about. And then, you get to go on with your day, and you have a lot of challenges. You have a lot of stuff that comes up that you're not expecting, and now you have fires that you got to put out, right? You got emails that you weren't expecting. You got a client that's upset. You have, um, a friend, a sister, a brother, a spouse. The car breaks down. You get a flat tire. You weren't expecting that. You have a big project that's due, and all of a sudden you're not feeling well, or your computer crashes. I mean, this is the stuff we all deal with, right? And so all of a sudden now you're spending five, six, seven, eight more dollars of your energy on that, and it's only 2 in the afternoon. And then so you got $2 left, right? So what do you do with that $2? Well, you try to push yourself harder. You try to make things happen if you're an achiever, which really burns us out, and we go through that last $2 really quick, and now we're on fumes. And when you're trying to make things happen and force things to happen, when you're not feeling good, when you're not having fun, when you're coming from stress or scarcity or worry, then it only attracts more stress and scarcity and worry into your life. or you spend up that money and now you feel like you're not doing those things, right? You're not taking action, you're not putting into effect, and now you're just sitting there beating up on yourself and then feeling terrible. And so then we go and we eat, we smoke, we drink, we binge TV, right? We start arguments because it's a distraction. We go spend money that we shouldn't be spending because it's a distraction, right? Or we just go to bed again feeling depressed, and then or go smoke a joint, right? Or do whatever else people do to try to check out because they're not happy with themselves or their life. And what happens is, if you have a bank account and now you've spent that $10, a lot of times we start cashing checks that we don't even have. We start bouncing checks, like the government. Every time I read the government is just going to give another $500 million to this, and just um, said that they have committed to another $800 million for this. I'm like, where are they getting all that money? I swear they're just making it. They're just printing it, right? So, because we're already in debt, so how in the world do you keep just having more and more and more of all this money? But I don't care what happens in the White House as much as I care what happens in my house and what happens in your house, because that's what really affects us the most. So anyway, I don't want to go on a rant here. I just want you to be aware that we need to make sure that we're spending that $10 worth of energy wisely. We are taking time to sit, to get quiet, to stop, and to think, is my life going the way that I want it to? And if it is not, how can I adjust? Think of yourself like you're sailing a big ship, and you got all your compasses and everything to make sure that you are on track, so you end up in the port that you are supposed to end up in, so you end up at your desired destination. And if you're not constantly checking your instruments, you could end up in a port that you didn't want to be at. And so many people end up in their life going, I didn't want to be here. Now they're resentful and angry and frustrated and depressed, and, wanting time machines and starting arguments and obsessing about how unfair life is and why it wasn't supposed to be this way. And then we get really angry, or we have big pity parties for ourselves. And I've done all of that too. That's why I'm older now and suggesting it's not a good idea, because it causes you to burn through your $10 and it doesn't get you anywhere except into more despair. So pause, stop, breathe, think, what do I want my life to look like? And where am I holding back? And how would I like to show up instead? How would I like to show up? What would I like to have happen? And notice when I'm making these statements, I'm not saying, how do I want everybody else to behave? How do I want everybody else to treat me? Because we don't have a lot of control over that directly. We do indirectly, because when we focus on improving ourselves, then we show up differently. And our energy causes other people to show up differently and act differently, because of how we're showing up. So you can influence people. It's just you do it through influencing yourself first. So you get quiet, you think about my ideal day, what I'd like to have happen, how I'd like my relationship to be, how I'd like to improve my health. You spend more time focusing on what you want to move towards, what you can do, what steps you can take, and how to get accountable. Maybe you listen to hypnosis programs or meditations every day. Maybe you get a coach. Maybe you get a friend and then you become accountability partner, someone that you can rely on. Maybe you start, some new class where you get yourself accountable if you're having a hard time holding yourself accountable. Whatever it may be, you get clear on what you want, and then you start focusing on what you can do to start to cause it to happen. And then you start to think about, all right, I've got $10. What am I doing right now? Is what I'm doing, is it money well spent? This dollar that I'm about to spend, or this $5 that I'm about to spend on my money, is it going to be something that makes me feel good that I spent that money? Is it a good investment of my money? Is it a good investment of my energy? Is it a good investment of my time? And if it is, then do it. Do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Sir Wallace Waddles, right? Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. And if it is not a good use of your time, then ask yourself, what would be? There is the power of questions. The quality of your life is being determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself on a daily, right? On a daily basis. So remember to think about what you would want to do. And is you talking about whatever you're talking about right now, is that worth the money you're spending? Is it going to get you closer to your destination? And if it is, spend it. And if it's not, take a pause. Think about what you could do instead. Hope this helps. August 11th, we begin our one final mission. If you need help kicking your butt into gear, if you need help getting rid of the stuff from the past so that you can show up strong, powerful, and confident, then go register for that right now. It will be amazing. I guarantee it. If you don't love it after the first session, I'll give you all your money back, right? It is a fantastic program. It's priced really well. You could even go through it with your spouse and bring your spouse for free. It's all online. It's going to be awesome. So go register for that. Take what I've shared with you and put it into action and make your life a sure success. Talk to you soon.